Every time a player walks into your game world and interacts with an NPC that responds with the same 3 lines of dialogue, you lose a chance to create a memorable experience. Creating believable characters does not require a team of writers or complex AI systems. It just takes a thoughtful approach to character design that you can implement right now. What makes us remember certain NPCs years after playing a game, while others fade from memory as soon as we turn off our console or PC? The answer lies in consistency and personality. Start by creating a simple profile for each key NPC. You don't need pages of backstory. Just establish their occupation, one core motivation, and one unique quirk. In Red Dead Redemption 2, the shopkeeper in Valentine is not just a generic merchant. He remembers if you have caused trouble, comments on your appearance, and has his own distinct personality. Next, design basic daily routines that make sense for their role. In Stardew Valley, NPCs follow schedules that change based on the weather, season, and special events. You can implement something similar by having your shopkeeper open their store, take lunch breaks, and close up shop at night. Develop 2 or 3 unique speech patterns or phrases that make characters instantly recognizable. Think about how you can identify characters from The Witcher 3 just from how they talk, whether it's Geralt's gruff brevity or Dandelion's flowery language. You will discover that a simple trait system can make characters memorable without requiring complex coding. Even just assigning a primary personality trait can guide how they respond to situations. Finally, implement small, achievable behaviors that show character consistency. A guard who always checks specific locations, a baker who comments on the weather. These little touches add up to create the illusion of a living person. Once you have established these foundations, it's time to make your NPCs actually respond to what's happening in your game world. What frustrates players most about NPCs? When they act like nothing has changed even after major events. Let's fix that without overwhelming your development schedule. Track 3 to 5 key player actions or achievements that NPCs should acknowledge. In Ghost of Tsushima, villagers react differently to Jin based on his reputation and story progress. You can implement this by tracking variables like saved village or defeated boss and having NPCs reference these events. Create tiered response types. Generic greetings for casual interactions, semi-personalized comments based on player status, and unique reactions for major story moments. This creates a sense of awareness without requiring thousands of dialogue lines. Implement a basic memory system using simple variables to store important interactions. Card NPCs, remember if you've completed quests for them, and adjust their dialogue accordingly. You can use a similar approach by storing Boolean values for significant interactions. Design dialogue that branch based on time of day, player progress, or world state. In Horizon Forbidden West, NPCs discuss current events and react to allies' accomplishments, which makes the world feel dynamic and responsive. Of course, realistic NPCs don't just respond to the player, they exist in a social web with other characters. How do you create the illusion of a living community without complex social simulation? The key is to suggest depth rather than fully modeling it. Establish visible relationships between NPCs. In Cyberpunk 2077, vendors and characters refer to others in the game, creating a social web that exists whether you're present or not. You can implement simple relationships like rivalries, friendships, or family ties that come through in dialogue. Script simple NPC to NPC interactions that players can observe. In The Last of Us Part 2, NPCs have conversations with each other, react to threats together, and show existing social bonds. You do not need complex AI, just occasional scripted moments where characters acknowledge each other. Create gossip or commentary about events happening in other parts of the game. NPCs in Red Dead Redemption 2 discuss news from other towns or comment on notorious crimes, making the world feel connected. You can implement this by having NPCs mention events based on game progression. Environmental storytelling can suggest ongoing NPC lives. Place items, notes, or environmental details that hint at character activities when the player isn't around. Like the carefully arranged workspaces in Control that tell stories about their absent occupants. Implement basic group behaviors for different situations. In Spider-Man Miles Morales, civilians react as groups to dangers, celebrations, or unusual events. You can create simple crowd reactions for key moments to show that your NPCs are part of a community. What truly separates memorable characters from forgettable ones is their capacity for emotion. What practical techniques can add emotional weight to your characters without requiring advanced animation systems or voice acting? Design a simple emotional state system with 3 to 4 core states that affect dialogue. NPCs in Detroit Become Human display emotional states that influence their interactions. You can implement basic states like happy, neutral, agitated, or sad that modify dialogue options. Create reactive dialogue that shows vulnerability, mistakes, or personal concerns. Characters in Life is Strange through colors reveal their fears, hopes, and insecurities through conversation. Even text-based dialogue can convey emotion through word choice and content. Implement gradual attitude shifts based on player actions. In Mass Effect Legendary Edition, crew members warm to you over time based on your choices. You can track the relationship values that evolve from hostile to friendly, or vice versa, over the course of the game. Focus on quality over quantity. A few well-written lines are better than pages of generic text. Add small imperfections or quirks that make characters more relatable. In Death Stranding, characters have distinctive mannerisms or verbal tics. These human touches, a nervous habit, a speech impediment, or a running joke, make NPCs feel like real people rather than exposition machines. Now let's talk about how to actually implement these systems in Unreal Engine in a way that won't overwhelm a solo developer. How do you build these systems in Unreal Engine without overwhelming yourself and your game? The key is to leverage the right data structures and build incrementally. Start with a modular approach by implementing one character feature at a time. Unreal Engine's component-based architecture is perfect for this. Create a simple NPC-based class, then add components for different behaviors like dialogue, routines, or relationships. This is how the Outer Worlds manage complex character systems. They add functionality in layers. Use Unreal Engine's powerful data structures to track NPC states and relationships. Create data assets to store character profiles with their base information, personality traits, and default dialogue options. Define custom structs for elements like emotional states, relationship values, or interaction history. Use enums for clearly defined states like emotional state or relationship type. Create save game objects for persistent data that changes during gameplay, like the player's reputation with an NPC. Use Unreal Engine data tables for quick implementation across multiple characters. These allow you to define NPC properties in a spreadsheet-like format and quickly apply them to many characters. Use Unreal Engine timeline components for scheduling NPC routines. Lastly, use Unreal Engine Level Blueprint for environmental storytelling and group behaviors. This is perfect for scripting those NPC to NPC interactions or community reactions to events that make your world feel alive. As you have seen, creating living, breathing NPCs doesn't require massive resources, just thoughtful design and attention to the details that matter. By focusing on consistent behavior, responsive interactions, social connections, and emotional depth, you can transform your static characters into compelling casts that players will remember long after they've finished your game. The best part is that you can implement these systems incrementally in Unreal Engine, starting with the most impactful elements and building from there. Even AAA games began with these fundamentals. They just had more resources to extend and polish them. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments. Watch this video for more AI development tips. See you in the next one.